Welcome back, Bravehearts. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolf, and this is DocStar TV. And again, yes, of course, who do you think I have on? I have Dr. Fong on. And Dr. Fong, okay, is one of the top leaders in IGF1 in the world. Now, I know we're talking about a product today, but we're talking about a product that, guess what? Do you remember when you felt like you were going to live forever? Do you remember when you had more energy than you know what to do? And guess what? You wasted it. You wasted it on alcohol. You wasted it on smoking and toking, okay, and midnight choking. And you know what? You partied hard, okay? And the next day you were able to party hard again, okay? Well, now you've grown older and you've grown wiser, hopefully. And the reality is, how would you like to have that same stamina, that same energy that you had before? How many people here know that the body makes human growth hormone up until around the age of 30? By 35, it's really diminished, okay? I mean, we were set up, whether you believe this or not, the human body was manipulated, okay, to actually have vim and vigor so that we would reproduce. And then by the time that we've reproduced enough, we lose our vim and vigor. Don't tell me that's not a setup. Okay, I don't want to get into what I really think, but the reality is this. Are you ready? How would you like to be able to have what the human growth hormone did for you when you were in your later teens, your 20s, and your early 30s? And you might think that's a bit of a promise, but actually it's not one that I'm going to fall on, because I've already proven it, and I've proven it with thousands of people already. IGF1, okay, 300,000, and we have another one called IGF1 25,000 that's not as strong. You can tell between the names. But understand, where does IGF1 come from? It comes from your liver, okay? Liver. You want to live? You want to live big time? Well, you should see what your liver does. Your liver does over 300 jobs. And one of those jobs is make IGF1 so you can have fun. And it only does that, okay, until around the age of 30, 35, and it'll diminish depending on how much you smoke, how much you toke, how much sugar you take in, okay, how much abuse you do. But even if you don't abuse yourself, it's going to go. Here's the trick. Human growth hormone goes into the liver, makes IGF1. IGF1 then is where you, look at this, okay, all right? I'm not saying that I'm, young looking, but I tell you, I feel a lot more younger looking in the last years that I've been doing IGF1 and other things as well. But IGF1 creates more collagen in your body than any other known product. It creates elastin. It creates tone. It gives you that energy, that sustainable energy. How many people here drink coffee? Whoa, a lot. There's a coffee place on every corner. There's got to be a reason for it, because they couldn't stay open unless you were trying to stay up. And guess what? Every time you drink coffee, guess what it does? It shuts your brain down and tells your brain you're not tired. And guess what? That's why after a while you get fired, and it's called an autoimmune disease, and you have a critical immune crash, and one of your organs blow out. And it depends on which organ, okay? Depending on your emotional ability, because you're attacking yourself and you don't even know it. But the reality is here, you go ahead, you keep doing your coffee. And just know this, your coffee's costing more than my IGF1. I'll do my IGF1 3 times a day. And guess what? I will have this sustainable energy as if I'm in my teens or early 20s. And guess what? At the end of the day, guess what? I go to bed, okay, not with an aching head. I go to bed going, yeah, I got this. Oh, yeah, I feel like going to bed, but I'm not achy. I'm not tired, okay? Like I need to just shut myself down. I go to bed because I just feel restful. And I'm not making this up. So I do IGF1 3 to 4 times a day of the 300,000 IGF1. And guess what? If you're younger, you could do IGF1 25,000. But guess what? I need to bring it on. I don't know if you follow me or not. I don't know if you follow me or not in what I do, but the reality is guess what? And this is the truth. Why don't you call up and ask my staff, because we have callers on there that will answer your health questions for free. But the reality is why don't you call up and say, hey, is anybody able to keep up with Dr. Wolf? The 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, the 40-year-olds, the 50-year-olds, Okay. Meanwhile, he's almost on his way to 70. And the reality is are they able to keep up with him? Nobody can keep up with me. They can't keep up with my brain. They can't keep up with my train of thought and all the things that I'm doing. And I don't go, like I told you, I don't go to bed with a headache. I don't go, oh my, I'm so exhausted. You know, IGF-1 has got to be one of the greatest discoveries. And it is one of the greatest anti-aging things. Oh yeah, there's more anti-aging things that you can take. Of course, you can do anti-aging things that are free, but we're able to give you IGF-1 that is exactly the same as your liver used to make and no difference. And then people are going, yeah, but I heard that IGF-1 can cause cancer. Yes, that's right. If you get it from a pharmaceutical company, if you get it from a company that makes it synthetic, and then you're going to say, oh yeah, but guess what? I get human growth hormone shots. And I'm going to tell you something. It doesn't add up to our IGF-1. You're paying a lot more money, and you're not going to get what we give you. Dr. Fong, what do you think? And before we start, Dr. Fong, why don't you tell everybody who you are, where your practice is, and then why don't you guys sit back and listen to the science of somebody who really knows, okay? Dr. Fong?
Well, good morning, Dr. Wolf. Thank you for having me on the show again.
You're welcome.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bruce Fong. I'm a osteopathic physician. I'm also a homeopathic medical doctor in the state of Nevada. I am the medical director of the Sierra Integrative Medical Center, located again in Reno, Nevada. We've been around since in this incarnation since 2003, and I've been in practice since 2001. I actually have an interesting history. I grew up with parents who were in integrative medicine, and got to work at their clinic as a privilege, and learned a lot of things before I even got to osteopathic school. And then I learned the rest of my medical education there. Did a 3-year residency in internal medicine in Las Vegas, and then returned to Reno, Nevada to practice in 2001. So I've been spending all this time trying to help people with chronic degenerative diseases, and we can get into that with this particular product later because it's extremely helpful for that. But getting right into it, if for whatever reason you need to contact me, our clinic's phone number is 775-828-5388. Again, that's 775-828-5388, or you can check us out on the web at www.sierraintegrative, that's SIERRAINTEGRATIVE.com. And yes, Daryl, it took me a few years to get that right without misspelling it. Just kidding. But check us out, and if we can help you, I promise we'll do everything we can to help you with whatever what ails you. So, getting into this, I absolutely agree with Dr. Wolf. I've been one of the hugest proponents of using deer antler velvet, which is what we're referring to as the IGF-1 product today, for many years. And to give you a little history about this, I'm actually American-born Chinese, and I was raised in a somewhat traditional manner. I don't think I'll say how old I am either, but that's okay. I'll let people guess, whatever. So we had a family that was the traditional Chinese family where if my parents weren't around, then I was handed off to my grandparents who were around, and we all take care of each other. So, like any other kid, if I was sick as a kid, and Dad says, okay, fine, you don't have to go to school, I'm like, yay! And then, wait a minute, you're going to Grandpa and Grandma's. And I'm like, oh no. Why? Not because Grandpa and Grandma didn't love me, but because Grandpa and Grandma loved me so much, they dragged me down to the Chinese herbalist down in Chinatown, San Francisco. And as a little kid, if you've not been to one of those stores, by the way, as a little kid, the smells emanating from that place, well, let's just say they probably could choke a maggot, but I know that they're good for you now. But the bottom line was that here's this 5, 6-year-old me going, no, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in there. And I'm getting dragged into the place. And, of course, really wonderful people. Grandpa and Grandma would say, tell them what's wrong with me. And then the herbalist would go to the shelf here, go to the shelf there, grab this for the runny nose, or this for the congestion, or this for the cough. And putting it together now is just this beautiful symmetry in my dried deer antler that was sitting on the top of the shelf. Every single place had this. And they take the cut end of it, scrape that off into the big mortar and pestle thing that they grind everything up with. Grind this up into powder, tell my grandparents to give it to me as tea. In case you can't figure it out, that probably wasn't going to taste very good. My grandparents are smart enough to at least to put this powdered honey in there that they eventually fooled me into drinking the tea. And honestly, it made me feel so much better. So let's talk about that now. So why was the deer antler, which every traditional Chinese herbalist uses this deer antler? Well, why is that? The deer antler, for over 3,000 years of known traditional Chinese medicine, has only been used second to ginseng. And why is that? It's because it is the constitutional remedy. It's the thing that helps you to heal faster, helps you to repair stuff, helps you to really maintain yourself, even when you're not necessarily sick, but you want to simply maintain who you are. That was there. And it talked about vitality, it's maintaining strength, virility, any of those things that you can utilize in the old terminologies, but it basically helped your body to be the best it could be. So let's fast forward now. Approximately 35 or some odd years ago, my dear brother from another mother, Mr.
Can you hold on for a second? Just 1 second. Tammy, you can go if you want. Tammy asked me if we treat cancer and multiple sclerosis. I'm not going to waste my time listening to you if you can't answer my question. Everybody, I will answer all your questions when I'm done the show. We get so many questions, Tammy, that if I were to stop Dr. Fong and interrupt him, that would be so rude. And guess what? Multiple sclerosis, cancer, let me tell you something. There's nothing that's not reversible, Tammy. And understand, it's called a perfect day, Tammy. And guess what? A lot of these illnesses like multiple sclerosis and cancer actually are emotional conditions where people get stressed. Tammy, I would have answered your question. And if you want, just go to my library and take a look at the emotional chemistry of cancer, disease, and healing at Doc of Detox, and go into the perfect day guide in there and take a look and start there, and then maybe get yourself a perfect day consult. But understand something, cancer is just stage 4 inflammation. And anybody can handle inflammation if you know how to create a perfect day. And multiple sclerosis starts in the large intestine, where all problems start. Okay, Tammy? But just know this, nobody was being rude to you, Tammy. I'm rude right now to Dr. Bruce Fong. We will answer all your questions, everybody. Listen, doctor, have you noticed something? That everybody has a short fuse after COVID 3 years? And now with this whole chaos things and all the stuff that they're trying to scare us with. So I need you to understand, Tammy, that you need to connect to your breath. And understand the next person that you know that's getting agitated, smile and love them anyway. Smile and love them anyway. Everybody, do you notice how everybody has no time for people? Everybody are losing it? Let's hold it together. They want us to lose it. These psychos are setting us up. Get it together, everyone. Connect to your lion heart breath. Put a slight smile on. Focus. 1 second. Focus on what you want in your life. Everybody. And Tammy, you don't have to waste your time with me. You go spend time with yourself. Love and care for yourself. Okay? And understand, I'm here for everybody. And I feel for everybody that is suffering out there. But we're all going to have to calm down and learn how to love and care for ourselves and each other. Dr. Fong, please go ahead.
Tammy, this is for you as well. For whatever reason, if you want us to help you, our clinic does deal with quite a few MS patients, and we look for an underlying cause as well. And my partner in practice, Dr. Forsythe, is a world-renowned integrative oncologist. So if there's any way that we can help you, just go ahead and check out those places I said earlier. And Dr. Wolf, I couldn't agree with you more. I actually stood up to the powers that be during COVID, and I'm one of the few that was openly prescribing things like hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin when everybody else was hiding behind their coattails and hiding behind academics that didn't know what they were doing. I actually went toe-to-toe with the governor of the state of Nevada. And unfortunately, I'll say I've become infamous in many political circles as being a radical because I tried to sue the governor. But anyway, I only do that for the greater good. I don't like suing people in case anybody's going to get that impression. But
let me tell you something. If you're not a rebel today, you're not awake. And that's it right now. If you're not a rebel, you're not awake. And everybody, I'm going to be releasing my Perfect Day Manual. It's 40 years of work, and it's going to be released at cost to the whole world. And I'm going to tell you something. It'll give you more take action steps and show you how to stand in your God-given power. What do you think of that, Dr. Fong?
You know what? God gives us everything that we need. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, is one of the things that keeps me going all the time. And just trust in it, everybody, because if you're a Christian, I can quote the Bible verse, but really, what it really means is that this is really God's battle. We're there to serve His will, and sometimes all we have to do is sit back and let Him do the job, and just trust in Him and have faith, because that's all we really need in the end.
All right, so IGF1, let's get her done.
Let's get it back to it. So going back to it, I was talking about deer antler. So deer antler itself, being the constitutional remedy, the fix-all for every ailment, the thing that helps sustain your body. Again, second most used thing in traditional Chinese medicine other than ginseng. So that's how, the traditional Chinese medicine would look at it, is in that manner. And, to maybe more westernized ways of thinking, that wasn't as easy to understand. So again, 35 some odd years ago, my dear brother from another, Mr. Rick Lentini, brought the IGF to the forefront by taking the deer antler velvet. And what we discovered was that it's not just the deer antler, but it's actually the deer antler as it's growing. So most people may or may not know this. Deer actually lose their antlers every year. And then in the springtime, in about 110 days or so, the deer actually grow a new rack of antlers. And if you harvest the antlers right in the middle of the growth phase, and as an aside, the deer are tranquilized. They are not harmed, but the antlers are removed, and enough of a nub is left there so the antlers can grow back. Then you take the antler itself, and if you take the inside of the antler out, in other words, we suction that out, it's a brown, gelatinous, thick brown, viscous fluid that, if you let it dry, becomes a sticky, shiny thing that we call a velvet. And that velvet is then, just like olive oil, it's cold pressed, and then basically that's what the product we have here. So we're finding out that the main constituent, when it was analyzed, is insulin-like growth factor 1, or IGF1, as we refer to. But it is an entire growth matrix that includes that, IGF2, and about 13, 14 other growth factors in there.
And if I can say something, did you guys hear what he just said? It's an entirely complete growth matrix. That's what you had when you felt you were going to live forever and you had abundant energy. That's what that came from. I need everyone to understand that. So those people who want that, if this is taken on a daily basis, you're going to feel that. If you stop taking it, the residual of that will wear out, because your body was making IGF-1 24/7. And that's why we put it in on a daily basis. And if I can say this before you go any further, Dr. Fong, do you know how many critically care people come to me, or people that are in bed and they can't move? They're in bed, they can't move because they're calcified. Their tendons, ligaments, and muscles have dehydrated, and they're like scar tissue beef jerky. We'll go in there and do non-surgical on them, okay, and get the joints moving again. But what about the energy part? Well, what do you think? This is one of our biggest secrets, but it's not a secret, is to give them this. Because remember something, what gets you feeling better? What makes you love life again? What makes you get out of bed? Energy. What helps you with a bowel movement? Energy. What helps you with digestion? Energy. What helps you with hugging someone? Energy. What helps you with everything? Making you feel that life is still an adventure. Dr. Fong?
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. And again, this whole thing about the building of the energy, that was always mentioned in traditional Chinese medicine, because it created that yin-yang, that balance that allowed you to be perfectly balanced, to be able to utilize and actually really produce the energy you needed to. And again, before I forget, the entire growth matrix, again, as I was mentioning, again, I'm going to shout out to God again since I'm a Christian, but that was God-made. That was just straight from nature. as far as I'm concerned, God's perfect in his designs, and we don't want to mess with that stuff. And there's actually, as I mentioned, other growth factors. Believe it or not, there are growth factors that prevent cancer from forming. Because these are all growth factors. You can see all kinds of tissues developing, that there are things in there, other growth factors that check abnormal tissue growth. So again, as far as I'm concerned, this is like a perfect system. And again, you cannot really replace your ability to really be the best you can be, and then live life to its fullest. So you've got to really think about this. And I think Dr. Wolf mentioned earlier that we see in studies that we make this IGF-1, the primary motivator of this growth matrix. We see that we make this very high levels when we're born, and then as we get older, we start to have diminishing levels. Once we hit our mid-30s, everybody think about that. When we hit our mid-30s, doesn't everybody talk about that? Go, man, I'm starting to put some, pouch on me here. Boy, I'm slowing down. Dang, my workouts aren't as good as they were. Or dude, why can't I get, as big as I used to, or whatever. Guys, I'm telling you right there, that's directly correlated to the lowering levels of the IGF-1. And just like Dr. Wolf mentioned, it's going to impact the rest of your life. Now you don't have as much energy to do what you want to do. Now you don't have the gumption, the capacity even to do all the things that you used to like doing. So before, it's kind of like, oh, well, gee, you're getting older. Sorry, Joe, if I say this the wrong way, but you know what, guys? Screw that. We can actually fix this now. We can fix it because we can now replace what was in your body with a completely natural product that almost 100% emulates what's in our body. Get this, when there's growth hormone there, when there's our own IGF-1 there, which is the main motivator of human growth hormone. So in case you don't know the physiology, just briefly, or really the biochemistry, when you have human growth hormone in your body, your liver is then triggered to make somatostatin C, also known as IGF-1, and is the main motivator that repairs tissue in your body, helps you put on muscle, helps you to literally refine even say like inflammatory reactions or immune reactions, so that they're not damaging, but more directed against the say an offending organism, for instance. In other words, this is the main thing that can actually help you to say, going back all the things I said, you can work out better, you have more energy, your for instance, your hormones are actually better balanced, your body has the ability to stave off infection, have less inflammation. Those are all things that, as we quote unquote get older, we have to, we just have to deal with.
If
well,
I
guess
can,
what, guys?
If I can say something, the more inflammation you have, the less immune system you have. And understand something. This is why this is so important to everyone. And somebody says here, can it be synthesized? Well, synthetic IGF-1, I'll let Dr. Fong talk about it, but you don't want to take that. A cancer patient can take our IGF-1, but you don't want a cancer patient or anybody taking a synthetic one. And Big Pharma sells the synthetic one. So yes, it can be synthetic, but guess what, guys? It's not real, and it can cause trouble. Dr. Fong, can you tell them, please?
So again, I made the point earlier that this is a God-made thing. It's a complete growth matrix that is actually, when we put it in our bodies, even though it comes from a deer, we put it in our bodies, we don't see really any ill effects. I mean, the product's been around for, like I said, 35 years, and we've never seen any significant ill effects. We've never seen a single case of malignancy has been directly tied to this product. We've not seen other major side effects. The one major issue when pharmaceutical companies take something from nature and put it to market is that they have to be able to patent that given thing. To patent it, at least here in the United States, you have to change the product by a certain percentage from the natural state so that it's a unique product, and therefore you can patent it. Those changes are what result in side effects, adverse effects of things we don't want to think about, really potentially nasty things. One of the biggest examples I can give you, you guys may have heard of red yeast rice. It's been around decades for people knowing it's an herbal that is that comes literally from a yeast that can help lower your cholesterol. Well, guess what? Big Pharma figured that out. They turned around and they made Lipitor and the other statins with it. Sorry if I shouldn't mention a specific name, I guess. But anyway, when they did that, they had to alter the red yeast rice molecule by a certain amount so they could, again, patent it and make money from it. I mean, they can't blame them for that because that's what they're around for. They're a business trying to make money. But in doing so, their scientists try to make the most, benign changes that they can. Hey, let's put a hydrogen group here. Oh, hydroxyl there. But in the end, you did alter what was in nature, and now the body is not going to react to it the way it used to. We know from there was a branch of pharmacology a few years ago, which I don't know if it's there or not anymore, but there was this labs that were doing pharmacogenetics. They were actually checking your genetics to see if you were actually susceptible or sensitive to specific categories of medications. And that was a really useful test, and I don't know what happened to that lab. It's gone. But the bottom line is that just tells you that everybody has a unique way of interacting with these things. But when you take things out of what they were in their natural state, quite often it's creating more of a potential to create a negative interaction with your body. And again, I can't seem to reiterate more than what Dr. Wolf said, that anything that's synthetic is never going to be as good for you as the actual natural compound that it comes from.
If Dr. Fong, if I can say this, everyone, and this is just my personal opinion, so just allow me to have it. Big Pharma is never going to give you anything except to shut down symptoms. They're never going to heal anything. And understand, everybody talks about there's evil in the world. Well, Big Pharma is evil. Big Pharma is put there to test everyone. Are you going to go to a low vibrational thing that gives you instantaneous relief, and you don't have to take any massive personal action? You don't have to love and care for this temple that is God-given. You're just going to take a pill, there's your thrill, and you're going to tell your body to shut up. So you're only shutting off your emotions, you're shutting off your feelings, you're shutting off your pain. And guess what? Pain is a GPS God-given, And if you're in pain, it's because you're out of alignment on an emotional and physical level. And listen, there's nothing wrong with you. I mean that. There's nothing wrong with you. It's toxic beliefs that run our day, and they run over us. If we can change our thoughts, okay, you don't have to change in what you believe in, but if you can change your thoughts, okay, and how you do things and how you process and how you react, then you won't be attacking your body. Because, tell me I'm wrong, Dr. Fong, an autoimmune disease means the body's attacking itself, but the individual is attacking themselves on an emotional and a mental level all the time, and they don't even know it because they've been taught to disrespect themselves on some level. So you can take that to the bank. Because I've been dealing with this. I teach doctors and practitioners and lay people every month. It's called Whole Life Coach. People that want to take their life back, who want to own it. And understand something. If you're not going to, think about this. Dr. Fong, has anything ever changed for you if you haven't changed a thought? If you're not going to change any thoughts, everybody, then don't think anything's going to change. The IGF1 will give you more energy. Okay, so it's going to help to maybe turn down the burner. But understand, if you're not going to change your thoughts, you're going to rot anyways. And you're going to rot here first before here. It's stinking thinking before a rotten body. Dr. Fong?
So I'm an integrative internist is what I got to call myself. I've gone through a residency in internal medicine, but I'm integratively thinking, meaning that I look at both alternative and the more conventional ways of thinking. And that's another way of saying that I'm sort of holistic. I look at mind, body, spirit. I literally pray with my patients. I want their mental status to be good. Whenever a patient comes to see me, not only do we go through all the physical things, but we talk about emotional stuff. We talk about traumas. We talk about, all the different things that can impact what we call a chronic disease. These things don't just pop up by themselves. Yeah, you get XYZ virus like we're going to get threatened with again this winter. But by itself, how much is that going to do to you? If your body, just like Dr. Wolf said, your body, your mind, and your spirit are fortified and they're strong, you're going to have a much better chance of repelling that invader from your body with a very little to ill effect. So there is a possibility of that. But it really depends on what each and every one of us has put ourselves through. So bringing this back, when we look at this whole situation, this growth matrix, this deer antler velvet, this IGF1 product that we're talking about today, helps you to achieve this. And it primarily works on a physical, but also probably an energetic level for sure, but by making your body feel better in all ways. Now realize all the different growth factors along with the IGF, we're talking about not only repairing muscles and making bones stronger, but Dr. Wolf mentioned the skin and the elasticity of the underlying tissues, the connective tissues, like through the collagen. This compound, one of the biggest components is actually collagen. So you're getting collagen in there. You have bone factors for growth. You have factors that help nerves repair and grow. You have factors to help maintain and grow blood vessels. You have factors that help with pretty much any tissue in the body to help maintain it, keep it stronger, possibly even grow even more tissue that way. So by making all that good, and then on top of that, it has this ability to potentially balance your hormones, because the IGF-1 itself can increase luteinizing hormone, which stimulates the release of estrogen in females and testosterone in males. That also helps to not only make your body better, but it starts making you, guess what, feel better, both on a physical and an emotional level. If we feel our whole body, and I'm sorry, one more thing I mentioned earlier, reduces inflammation. So if you're reducing inflammation and redirecting that immune system against what needs to be fought against, as opposed to attacking your body. Again, a lot of times autoimmune diseases, as Dr. Wolf mentioned, is a conglomeration of things that have made the immune system misrecognize your body and start to attack it. So we want to get rid of as many of those things, or to reverse or to rebalance as many of those things as possible, to bring somebody back to their natural state where they're not attacking themselves. And my clinic, like I said, primarily works on the physical side with looking at underlying potential illnesses such as infections in the body, toxins, and really any number of imbalances that can lead us down that road. But at the same time, we definitely want to work on our emotional side, any mental stressors, because they all do contribute to how well a patient does overall. And again, at every level, I would really put that statement out that the IGF-1 product that we're talking about, the Growth Matrix product, can actually help to achieve every single one of those goals. Initially through physical and energetic improvements, and then ultimately, because you're starting to feel better, it builds on itself. Your mental and emotional status gets better. And in my own sense, when I have these physical barriers taken away from me or reduced in me, my spirituality, my connection to God, I feel, gets easier to connect. And I love this forum because I can say these kind of things. I firmly believe, just as it's taught in the Bible, that the devil tries to always disrupt, the enemy tries to disrupt your relationship with God in every single way he can. And if we can say these illnesses, this toxic world, or whatever else it is, if this compound, this IGF-1 growth matrix, can help us to eliminate or balance that out, guess what? It makes it easier for us to connect to the Almighty. So I'll leave it there.
It's vibration. It's frequency. The highest vibration is source. We know that. And everything and every decision you make on an emotional and physical level, if you ask yourself, is that a higher frequency? Is that a higher vibration? You know, so everything that you take in, you're talking about getting the light energy and the frequency from that. Because that's the key to set yourself free from inflammation. Look at, if you have something that reduces inflammation, you're going to increase energy and you're going to restore your immune system. So that's the bottom line right there. But it's not just that. You'll take this product and you'll notice it. It doesn't take long, does it, Dr. Fong?
No, actually, I've had people take this product less than a week and notice gains, or at the very least, their energy goes up.
Muscle tone goes up.
Exactly that. I've had people who have been working out and they said, wow, I've already, after a week, I actually feel that I can go longer. I feel like I'm making more gains. And the big one, I don't feel as sore, I recover from my workout a lot better. So that's exactly what the IGF-1 component does. There are studies out there that clearly show it helps to develop muscle faster. It helps to repair the muscle that what we call damage, but every time you work out, you're kind of damaging yourself a little bit, especially if you're resistance training. That little bit of damage is repaired, but it stimulates new muscle fibers to form. You get hypertrophy or enlargement of the existing fibers. And so the IGF-1 itself enhances that ability to grow the new fibers, to make the fibers that exist bigger. And so that's where your gains come from. But again, like I said earlier, the recovery from the little micro damage or whatever you want to call it that stimulates this, the IGF-1's right there for you too. It helps to repair those things faster. So you can make gains faster. You can recover from hard workouts faster. And no matter how you slice it, everything actually becomes easier and much more gainful. In other words, you make more, they're more productive. So it's kind of a win-win. You're gonna be able to work out better. You're gonna get your gains faster, and you're gonna get better energy and feel better all the way around. On top of that, this is one I didn't mention. I think I should mention. A lot of people are worried about, hey, I got the pouch here. Well, taking this compound helps to change the metabolism of the body, to help it to start to burn fat, to actually utilize for energy, and to specifically select more for muscle or lean body mass as opposed to that wasteful fat mass. Now, again, this is just all really, there's a lot of different studies and other, just known science about all this out there. There's just so much to talk about. It's kind of hard to really key in on one, but just believe me, there's just unbelievable evidence that just backs all this up, and it's well accepted that this is the main motivator of human growth hormone. And we're just talking about the musculoskeletal region right now. Like I said, it has so many myriad effects across the whole body. It's just amazing.
And you don't need a lot, do you? You don't need a lot, everybody. So that's the important thing, because it is a triggering mechanism. That's what it does. It makes other things work much better. So everybody, you can go to docofdetox.com and just look up IGF-1. 300,000 is what people like me would take, or somebody who's really active and really putting it out there, okay? And for the younger crowd, or people that just want to maintain, okay, what they have, okay? But when you get past the age of 40, if you're a go-getter, I'm a go-getter. I want the most out of every day. I live every day to its very, very fullest. Okay, so you can go to docofdetox.com and go to store, or go to store.docofdetox.com, and there's the IGF 300,000 or the 25,000. All the research is on there. You can go and take a look at it all. It's all on there, everyone. Okay, and Dr. Fong, is there anything that we want to tell them in closing?
Yeah, sorry, we got a little issue there. But anyway, I just again want to reemphasize to everybody that this is probably the number one thing that you can take. And in my opinion, it's absolutely safe for
and it tastes great. It tastes great, in my opinion.
And again, this is the number one thing that you can take to live life to its fullest. And if you don't want to do it for yourself, let me put it to you this way. Again, I will stand here and be proud to be a Christian, but the Bible says that we are here to serve God's will. If we're here to serve His will, we should be the best that we can be. And in all honesty, this is, I would feel, the best thing that I personally take as well, that helps me maintain everything that I have to do. Just to give you an idea, I'll reveal I am 54 years old. I have 8 children. I am the medical director of my clinic. I am also the medical director of a fire department's emergency medical services. And I'm now just recently elected the president of the Homeopathic Licensing Board of the state of Nevada. So I don't have a whole lot of time, but I somehow maintain myself to run through all this. And I can tell you that without the IGF1, I'd probably be in the ground right now trying to do all this. And I tell you right now that I don't just have enough energy to muddle through. I certainly do not try to put myself on a pedestal or toot my own horn, but I do a very good job with all the things that I do. I put my all into everything. And the main thing that allows me to do that is this compound. So, and again, I use it on all my patients. I didn't get a chance to say that earlier, but we see a lot of degenerative change patients. I forgot the lady's name, but hey, we do see MS patients. We see chronic Lyme disease patients. We see all these patients who have been sick for a very, very long time, who other people have not been able to help. They come to us, and we find the underlying conditions for whatever it is that ails them. We treat those on that physical level at the clinic with whatever we have there. But most importantly, and by the way, when I say that, we use immunotherapies primarily. But the most important thing is when we're starting to get done with that, we want the patients to have this IGF-1 growth matrix because it helps them along during the therapies and even especially afterwards to help them recover faster and be the best that they can be, and to really try to live their lives to the fullest as well.
Thank you, Dr. Fong. And Dr. Fong will be back again in a while. We're going to continually have him on because he's a wealth of information, and he's a very dear friend of mine. Thank you, sir. We're also, everyone, we're going to have Dr. Fong on. He's going to do his own show, and he's going to talk about Lyme's disease and how they treat Lyme's disease effectively. Okay? All right? Dr. Fong?
Well, yeah, I would love to invite you guys to that that podcast. Our clinic takes a very interesting approach to it. We typically are not using antibiotics. We are actually stimulating the immune system to help not only recognize the Lyme. In case any of you who have Lyme understand that, is that a lot of times your immune system doesn't recognize the Lyme. The Lyme disease is hidden in various parts of your body that cannot be easily accessible even by antibiotics. So having that immune system be trained to be able to recognize the Lyme better, to be able to more effectively attack the Lyme through your God-given immuno capabilities, and ultimately, most importantly, to build up a lasting immunity to Lyme so you don't have to be taking antibiotics for years at a time. That is what our goal is when it comes to Lyme disease, to bring that person, to empower that person's immune system, but also empower that person themselves to be able to fight that disease, defeat that disease, and to basically maintain the ability to keep it from ever affecting them again.
Thank you, sir. Have a beautiful day and just the best day ever. And thanks for all the brilliant work that you do.
Well, God bless you, Daryl. And God bless everybody out there. And thank you again for having me on.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you for joining us. I'm going to be back on here very shortly. And because I move around so much, I'm not sure. I'm either on in just 5 or 10 minutes or I'm on in an hour. I'm going to be coming on with a mother and who has an autistic child. And I'm going to be doing a consultation for her and go through what the environment the child's living in, what was the case that led up to this. And I'm going to be talking about what I can do if I was the father or caretaker of this child, what I would do for this child. So if you want to join us for that, all of these shows can be, I've got so many shows and they're called Real People, Real Healing. And I do shows, and if somebody here would like to come on a Real People, Real Healing show, you can text me at 469-861-8884. Or you can call me, on that number too. That's direct from the USA. It's a USA number. So don't worry, you won't pay long distance. I'm here in Ixtapa, Mexico, because I live in the United States and I live here. And I'm going to be doing a course here January the 8th, and it's called a Whole Life Coach Certification. about 50% of the people that take it aren't doing it to open up practices in an emotional, nutritional care. But the reality is it'll change your whole life forever. You will become the practitioner you've been searching for. It's 9 days. It's at the Cala del Mar. It's a 4-diamond resort. You don't have to stay there, but it's a beautiful Ixtapa, Mexico. And guys, please, what the American government, Canadian government tell people is just a lie. I've never been safer in my life. I love it here. This is my mainstay. And the world is going into a chaotic situation, and especially in the United States. And it's being planned. And it's going to be very explosive for the next 7 years. And the reality is where I can do my best work is where there's peace. Down here, there's no GMOs. There's no chemtrails. I can buy organic, and it's not called organic, and I pay about 25 to 30% of the price now I would pay in the United States. Every day I go and I get 1 gallon of beaten carrot juice. That's what's in here, okay? Just so you know. And you see the redness there? Okay, you can see the beet, eh? So, and guess what? 1 gallon costs me 280 pesos. 280 pesos for a gallon. So, and then the beach is right here. You can't see it. But every night I swim in the ocean. And somebody said you should open up a retreat. We will be, we used to have what was called in Ixtapa here. It was the World Healing and Training. We had 2,000 people come down in 2 years. Okay, so that was a lot of people. And what I'm doing is I'm opening up another retreat here in Ixtapa, Mexico, in Zihuatanejo, Mexico. But I'm only going to be bringing in a couple at a time, or a family at a time, or a very small group at a time. I'm not interested in the big numbers. I don't live for the thought of money, you know. The reality is I want to make sure that everything we do, it's going to stick the best it can. So sometimes you're on here and people come on and go, "Is he angry?" No. I'll tell you what I am. I'm a Braveheart warrior, and I'm gonna hold the line. I'm gonna try to help you crack your coconut and understand that if you change your thoughts, you'll change your life. And if you change your thoughts, you'll change your personality. And you need to change your personality if you want to change your life. And there's thoughts in there because we've been programmed since we entered the womb. And you have to understand that. The Rockefellers, they engineered all the schooling from kindergarten right through university. I told my kids not to go to university. How's that? And the reality is I didn't want them going because the reality is I don't know if you've noticed, but university, I'm not telling you everybody, but you know what? It's all just programming. And the reality is guess what? I am a really good practitioner. I know my stuff. When people come to me, if they want to take massive personal action, they're going to get well. There is nothing that's not reversible. So you need to get that. That's the God's truth. But the reality is do I have you having belief in yourself? Well, you're not going to have belief in yourself if you don't have self-care and self-love. And you know what? Most people, they go, "Oh, I have faith." Yeah, but do you love yourself? Do you know how to care for yourself? Do you know how to have a perfect day when you get up in the morning as soon as you rise until you close your eyes? Do you know how to love yourself, really love yourself? To not compromise yourself with what you drink, what you eat, what you think? Let me tell you something right now. If you do anything that the majority of the population does, your life is in jeopardy. Your life is in jeopardy. That's it. That's all. And you're going to go, "Oh, he's an extremist." Oh, really? Okay. Then why is 85% of the population in United States pre-diabetic? Why is it that 60% of the population is going to have heart disease? Why is it that 50% of the population is going to have life-threatening cancer, and God help them that they get through it? Why is it that people walk around and say, "I'm a cancer survivor"? Why aren't you a bloody thriver? And why did you get cancer the second and third time? Because you didn't change your thoughts. You didn't change your thoughts. You used all this energy, willpower, threw money at it, but you didn't change your life. And you know what? How many people say they believe in God, and how many people have these religions? And guess what? They go to medical doctors. Really? Are we like out of our skull? The medical doctors don't get taught about anything about nature, and God is nature. Medical doctors don't talk about cleansing because they don't cleanse anything. They just want to shut down the pain or shut down the swelling or shut you down so that you will shut up. And they don't even know they're doing it. Medical doctors are not evil. The program's evil. The program's evil. Get it? So the next time that you have a chronic situation, just know this. If you want to go to a doctor, they're in emergency care, you're going to become an emergency. You know, why don't you just say, look, I'm the owner of this body. There's 50 trillion cells, 500 trillion bacteria that are calling on me and counting on me. And every time that you have any type of symptom, that's your body going, can't you just love us? Don't you know about alignment? Don't you know about caring and loving these cells, this bacteria? Don't you know about anything? No, the majority doesn't. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to think. I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to hang around the majority either. I'm going to be I'm going to be the minority of the minority. And guess what? I'm going to live until I'm in my late 90s or into my hundreds, and I already know that. Okay, I already know that. You know, my mother died of lung and tongue cancer. My father died of leukemia. My father had leukemia, and he had it 3 times. The 3rd time he went. The first time we got rid of it in 6 weeks, and you're going to, that's not true. Well, yes, it is true. Okay, and the second time, it took us 4 months. Okay, and then the next time, he didn't even make it to me. My father was not willing to change his thoughts. Okay, so as soon as I would get done, he'd go back to his old lifestyle. And you know what? Every time that you're in pain and suffering, I'll change. You're down on your knees, you're begging God, please. And then guess what? You just forget about it. And do you know why? Oh, you might love God, but you don't love yourself enough to hold the line. And that's the God's truth. And that's what I teach. And that's where people go, oh, you're a crackpot. You're dangerous. Yeah, I'm really dangerous, all right. Okay, I'm dangerous enough that I had a TV station in Canada, you know, take about $200,000 of taxpayers' money to come after me. That's the 3rd time they come after me. Well, you know, 3 times and you're out. Don't they get it? I'm not going anywhere. The reality is this. I'm going to tell you something. You're responsible for you. No one else. Okay? It's not in God's hands. It's called teamwork that makes the dream work. You know, source and you. That's it. And you know, you don't want to come to me. You don't want to take one of my courses. You don't want to come get trained. You don't want to get a consultation from us. Well, then find somebody that's going to give you logic. Somebody that's going to teach you from the moment that before you even open your eyes, you are there doing and being grateful for 10 minutes and being grateful for everything you have. Did you know just being grateful for 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes before you go to bed will up your immune system by 50%? That's an actual study. And if you are doing belly button therapy at the same time, connected to Lionheart breathing, okay, and putting a slight smile on your face and your eyes aren't even open yet, there's no getting out on the wrong side of the bed. And then if you got up in the morning and you hydrated and had a really great dump, like nature does, that's what we do. We're supposed to drink a quart of warm to hot water with some Ormus minerals, some black diamond in it, and drink that right away. Okay, you're going to have the greatest dump. You're going to hydrate. You know, they call it break fast, so you're breaking a fast. Why are you even eating until 11 o'clock? You shouldn't be. You know, when we used to eat the 3 meals, and here I'll give you a snack, they were going out into the fields or going out into the woods all day. Today we sit on our butts, and we can certainly seem like it. Look at how big they are. Did you know that right now that over 40% of the population is obese? Did you know that right now, okay, that 80% of the population is actually overweight? Or did you know that 1 out of 4 children are actually obese? Did you know that 15% of teenagers have a fatty liver? I have to keep on giving you stats. I want nothing to do with the majority until they're ready to wake. When they're ready to wake up. Now, what does waking up mean? Waking up means that you just realize that you were taught to disrespect yourself, dishonor yourself, and not love yourself. And that's it. You know, you can think that, oh my God, he's so intense, I couldn't be around him. Why don't you ask my family and my friends or the people that work for me? I'm not intense at all. I'm intense when I come on here. You might come on here one time, and if I can help you crack your coconut and understand something, that it doesn't matter what you believe in, if you don't unconditionally love yourself, you can't do it for anyone else. And you'll tell me, you know what? I would love my children to totally love themselves. I would love the world to totally love themselves. But you can't even do it yourself because you've been programmed. We have been so manipulated. Anybody that gets my perfect day guide, which I give at cost, And you know, you got to understand something. We do a consult for you for $150. It's 1 hour. We give you the audio. And then you have free phone calling, okay, where you can call our master consultants or even me for the rest of your life for free on a toll-free number. Don't tell me we haven't reached out to you. Don't tell me that we don't have a God spot in our heart for you, because we do. And the Perfect Day Guide that I put together, there's no manual like it in the world. If you were to read the 525 pages and look at the pictures, you'd know the exercises, how to do a vaginal infusion, how to do the ultimate coffee, how to do clapping, how to do one-shot therapy, okay, how to know what emotion is causing what dis-ease in your body, okay? If you knew how to give a warm water enema to your children, you wouldn't have ran them to the doctor and then drugged them down and scared the living crap out of them, and then also programmed them that, guess what? We can't get ourselves well. We're just going to hell. And that's what adults do. That's what parents do, because most of them are programmed. You know, I'm going to tell you something right now. My grandmother would give me an enema if I had a fever, and it was gone in 10 minutes after we did maybe 1 or 2 warm water enemas. And today we could put tummy love in there to really suck up the toxins. And guess what? Your kid would maybe either have a half-hour nap or they'd be out playing again. No, why don't you just sit there and freak out when they have their fever, because it's coming, baby. They've had Halloween, then there was Thanksgiving, and now there's Christmas, and then there'll be New Year's, and then everybody's going to have COVID, and then we all get to put our diapers back on. I just can't wait for the insanity. Okay, it's just over the top. That's why I live here. So I'm going to be doing a world tour. I'm going to be teaching my courses here in Extapa, so you can still get into them, you know. January the 8th, I'm doing a whole life coach course. I give a money back guarantee on it. That the first day I'll blow your mind. You'll hear stuff in that first day you've never heard before. By the third day, you will fall in love with yourself and not feel guilt or shame or feel like you're a sinner. And this is the part I don't like about religion, okay? Because everybody should be allowed to unconditionally love themselves, because that's what God wants. But no, mankind and even religious pastors. My father, he wouldn't buy into it. My father was a born-again Christian pastor. God love him. But the reality is, no way could you do unconditional love. You'd go to hell for that one, baby. And let me tell you something right now. I'm not in hell, and I'm not putting anybody in hell. It's heaven on earth, and everybody should have it. And until you have abundant love and care for yourself, you might be good at making money, but you'll be crappy at your relationship, especially with yourself and everybody else. And that's the God's truth. You know what? I don't put up with the naysayers and the haters like I've got coming on right now. I don't care. It doesn't matter what you do or what you say. You know, I love you anyway. You have to understand the naysayers and the haters, they're so locked in, okay? I don't know what to say. You know, the reality is I have a great day every day. And if it doesn't go my way, I have a great day every day. I am so grateful that I exist. And I am going to become the light for anybody else that wants it. And I'm going to make sure, you know what, the last addiction I had was coffee. And I'll tell you something, okay? And I really felt like, I don't have to give up all my addictions. I can have one addiction. And the reality is guess what? It's because of where I want to go. The vibration's too low with it. I started feeling nauseous in my tummy from it, even though it would give me a buzz. And then I'd drink more because I'd want that feeling I used to have. And then I drink more and I drink more. And I know you're going, coffee, what's the big deal here? You know, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't have a drug problem. I do prescription. I don't do anything anymore. Because guess what? You can heal yourself, baby. You can heal yourself. So the reality is I did quit the coffee. And then I had a lot of stuff going on about 2 weeks ago. And I just went, maybe I'll just have 1 cup, okay? Because I was feeling tired when I really should have just went and did my prayer and did some meditation, or I call it walking meditation, and just calm the hell down and didn't react and attack myself so I don't react and attack others. That might have been a good idea, Daryl. Thank you very much. And the reality is, so I drank the coffee for about a week. That one isn't enough, eh, babe? You just do again, and then I'm into my 7th day. And I feel like crap. By the time it's like 6 o'clock at night, and all I was doing was about maybe 8 ounces of coffee. And my body said, you detoxify it. This stuff is crap. I'm not letting you get away with it. So guess what? It made me feel like crap. So today I just have a teeny bit of headache here. and it's been 4 days. So all I did was went back on it for only 7 days. And now this is my 4th or 5th day, and I still have a bloody caffeine hangover right here. And I'll tell you, tomorrow I'm going to be out of it, and I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm not going back to it. It'll be if I really want anything, it'll be organic green tea, and made from tea bags. I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to make it, and then in the mornings, I've been doing this for the last few days, so I'm really coming back again, my energy, and feeling really great about everything, even if things don't go my way. Problem is, if you drink coffee and things don't go your way, you get really kind of, you can get a little nasty. So the reality is, I do about a quart and a half with some, what I call Beyond Ormus, and some black diamond in it, and it's warm to hot, and I drink that first thing in the morning. And that was out of this size, so like it's bigger than a quart, right? And I'm right at the bottom. Listen, I'm right at the bottom here, and I just did another quart and a half of beet juice and carrot. Now, if I did the coffee, okay, guess what would happen? I wouldn't be drinking all of this because I still have the right. I'd be having the buzz, and then that would be my energy. Whereas as soon as I start doing these things, I'm getting the natural energy, right? And the reality is, if I kept doing the coffee, I can't keep up with my schedule because there's a bay right out here, and Lori and I will swim half a mile to 3/4 of a mile every day now, and we just do it casually. And then I was doing it. I did it like this, just doing one swim, like just the breaststroke. Oh boy, gosh, my neck when I had the caffeine hangover the last 3 days in swimming. But my neck was just killing me. And it wasn't because of the swimming. It was because of the caffeine hangover. So understand, everyone, no, coffee is a drug. And when you take coffee, it tells you you're not tired. So the only time you want coffee is when you're tired. And it tells your body you're not tired. So what then you do is you steal the energy from your organs, and then you will have a critical case of organ failure. You're going to have it. Everybody will that does coffee. So, I just thought, I thought I could get away with it because I do a lot of good things for me, but now it's time I really pull it in, right? When are we going for a swim? Actually, I've got to go and do a show with this beautiful mother with her autistic child. And right now I'm working, just finishing the foreword that I'm writing. So I wrote the perfect day guide that we give with every consultation. Guys, if you want a consultation from us, you get lifetime support with free phone calling. You get an hour consult, and you get this guide that I wrote, and I put hundreds of thousands of dollars into it. Trust me, it's beautiful. It's this big. It's 525 pages. You can get it as a PDF free with your consult. And if you want for $225. The manual actually cost us $75 to actually build it and ship it to you. And then the consultation still just $150. I will give you the most powerful healing book in the world. And I'm telling you that because a lot of the healing is where you shouldn't be buying anything because we already have so much in us. So that's really what this book is about. Okay? All right? Anyways, I'm going to scoot and just know this. That which created the universe has always loved you and never judged you. And some people don't like that when I say it because they read books that says we're always being judged because we're not good enough. Well, let me tell you something. That which I believe is my creator, I want to tell you something right now. How do you feel about your children? Do you think that you should always judge your children, or do you think that you should unconditionally love them and try to guide them? Well, I don't really believe that which created the universe is a dysfunctional adult, and that would be called adulteration. So you wouldn't want to come to me if you believe that you're being judged all the time and that you're a little sinner and that you should go to judgment jail. And understand something, just so you know this, I've been in business for almost 45 years. So if I'm as dumb as a stump, which some of you think I am with some of the things people are saying to me right now, which aren't very nice, I will tell you something right now. I have seen hundreds of thousands of people. As you can tell, I'm kind of dedicated to my work. my love, my passion. And the people that came in that believed that they were sinners, they were guilty, they have to repent. Oh, if they did get well, they got sick again. I have people that come to me, and people that just believe in unconditional love and care for themselves. They don't have all of this hoopla that some guy in the sky is watching them and always judging them, okay? They get sick and they stay well. You know what? I just want you to take a look at your thoughts. Don't throw out the book. Don't throw out your belief systems, but take a look at the belief systems that have a chokehold on you. Take a look at the belief systems that, you're walking around on eggshells because you're just not good enough. Are you tired of not being good enough? You're good enough. You're good enough no matter where you are. And if you want to be better, okay, then you better learn how to love and care for yourself. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Only 1 out of 10,000 people actually know how to finish the game down here. And that's called unconditional love. You have a beautiful day.